Polycrisis situation. Pakistan is currently facing multiple interconnected crises, including economic instability, political strife, institutional decay, poor health and education outcomes, and environmental challenges such as climate change. Deep societal divisions. The country is increasingly divided along geographic, ethnic, religious, political, social, and economic lines, making it difficult to find common ground. Patriotic displays or compulsory subjects like Pakistan studies are not effectively addressing these growing divisions. Erosion of trust in institutions. There is widespread mistrust in state institutions, political players, and even the media. Press conferences and public statements are seen as partisan rather than informative, further deepening distrust among citizens. Lack of cooperation. Political parties, state institutions, and key actors have stopped engaging in meaningful dialogue, which hampers any attempt to address the substantial crises facing the country. This lack of collaboration is a significant obstacle to finding solutions. Need for collaboration. Addressing Pakistan's polycrisis requires collaboration across a broad spectrum of actors and groups. Crux. Pakistan is facing a polycrisis of economic, political, social, and environmental challenges. Society is deeply divided, and trust in institutions is at an all-time low. Political actors and state institutions are not cooperating, which is critical for addressing these crises. To move forward, there must be cooperation and dialogue across all sectors of society. But that seems difficult given the current level of mistrust. Consistent ruling class behavior. Despite changes in government, the ruling class prioritizes appeasing foreign creditors and investors over the welfare of working people and ethnic minorities. Privatization as a mantra. All bourgeois parties, including the current hybrid regime, advocate for the privatization of state-owned enterprises, SOEs, as a solution to economic problems. IMF agenda. Privatization is aligned with the IMF's agenda. Negative consequences of privatization. Privatization of SOEs often leads to reduced quality of services, higher costs, and the loss of public benefits. Capture of resources. The privatization process is often used as a means for the ruling class and foreign entities to capture valuable resources and assets. Crux of the article. The article argues that the ongoing privatization drive in Pakistan is a continuation of a long-standing pattern of ruling class behavior that prioritizes economic interests and political stability over the welfare of the people. Despite claims of improving efficiency and reducing the burden on the public exchequer, privatization often results in negative consequences for ordinary citizens. The author highlights the capture of resources by the ruling class and foreign entities through privatization and the detrimental impact on marginalized communities and ethnic peripheries. Community service in Pakistan. While Pakistan has shown a strong sense of community service during crises, this spirit is often lacking in normal times. Islamic teachings. Islam emphasizes the importance of community service and provides examples like Hazrat Yusuf. Addressing climate change. Community service can play a significant role in addressing climate change, particularly through tree plantation. Incorporating community service into education. The article suggests integrating community service activities, such as tree plantation, into the education system to promote environmental awareness and civic responsibility. Crux of the article. The article argues that Pakistan needs to cultivate a more consistent and sustained sense of community service, both as a religious obligation and as a means to address pressing societal issues like climate change. It proposes integrating community service activities, particularly tree plantation, into the education system to foster a culture of civic engagement and environmental stewardship. Key points. Interest rate cut. The State Bank of Pakistan, SBP, has reduced its key policy rate for the third time since June. IMF loan program. The rate cut is influenced by the anticipation of IMF board approval for a new loan program. Inflation and global factors. The decision is driven by a sharp decline in inflation, falling global oil prices, and stable foreign exchange reserves. Future rate cuts. Experts have differing views on the extent and pace of future rate cuts. Inflation risks. The SBP acknowledges that inflation risks remain, including core inflation, energy price adjustments, and global commodity prices. Crux of the article. The article discusses the recent interest rate cut by the SBP and its underlying factors. While the rate cut is seen as a positive step towards economic stability, there are concerns about future inflation risks and the need to balance monetary easing with maintaining macroeconomic stability. The article highlights the importance of evaluating the sustainability of the inflation decline before further reducing interest rates. Proposed URSA Act amendments. The proposed amendments to the URSA Act have generated controversy and opposition in Sindh and Balochistan. PPP's position. The PPP, initially supportive of the amendments, has changed its stance due to backlash from nationalist forces and farmers. Provincial concerns. Sindh and Balochistan fear that the amendments will violate the Water Apportionment Accord of 1991 and undermine their control over water resources. Government's assurances. The government claims that the amendments aim to improve water efficiency and accuracy. CCI bypass. The government's attempt to amend the URSA Act without involving the Council of Common Interest (CCI) has raised concerns. Crux of the article. The article highlights the controversy surrounding the proposed amendments to the URSA Act. Sindh and Balochistan are raising objections to the changes, fearing that they will undermine their control over water resources and violate the Water Apportionment Accord. The government's assurances have not alleviated these concerns, especially given its attempts to bypass the CCI. The article emphasizes the importance of involving the CCI and consulting various stakeholders before making any changes to the URSA Act. Misleading dengue figures. Punjab health authorities are accused of providing inaccurate data on dengue cases. Rising dengue cases. General practitioners report a significant increase in dengue fever cases. Impact of inaccurate data. Tampering with disease figures can lead to health crises, hinder disease control efforts, and strain healthcare systems. Fragile healthcare infrastructure. Pakistan's healthcare system is overburdened and unable to cope with the consequences of inaccurate data. Need for accurate data. Accurate data is crucial for researchers to study and address disease outbreaks. Policy reforms. The article emphasizes the need for policy reforms to strengthen the healthcare sector and ensure accessible and affordable healthcare for all. Crux of the article. The article highlights the dangers of misleading public health data, particularly in the context of the rising dengue cases in Punjab. It criticizes the government for its failure to provide accurate information and address the growing health crisis. The article emphasizes the need for a robust healthcare system and accurate data to effectively combat diseases and protect public health.